Hey, this is Nick Williams with Medicare Millionaire. I'm here with my prize top telemarketer, Rochelle Gantello. How are you doing, Rochelle?
I'm feeling wowza.
Wowza. This is this is an opportunity for you and I to help other agents and even telemarketers improve at what they do. And especially, I think, because we've run through this once already, and it didn't work out, so we're doing this again. But I think the most beneficial information here is the relationship that can be developed between an agent and the telemarketer. And what would you say regarding that, Rochelle?
I believe, Sir Nick, that it is an important thing for the agent to build a certain level of relationship to the telemarketer, so that the productivity will still be there.
Right. And most relationships, how would you describe most relationships that you're aware of between, say, Filipino telemarketers and American agents?
Oh well, as I've heard, Sir Nick, the agents would just like at the end of the day, they would just say, "Oh, where are my leads?" And that's the end of it. Like just a worker and oversee worker.
So the relationship is, hey, are you on the phone?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it's, where are my leads?
Yes, yes,
So,
that's correct.
and that makes sense. I mean, I can see that being the norm. But we Skype frequently, correct?
Yes.
And we video Skype frequently.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that makes a difference. Would you agree?
Yes, Ernie. I
We
feel
didn't,
more connected.
so, but when we really got into that, and especially the more that we did that type of communication, that's when the relationship got better and better.
Yes, Ernie. And the result really got better.
Yes, that's correct. So let's get into some numbers. How many calls do you make a day?
Okay, so that would be 400 to 600 a day.
And typically, how many leads does that generate?
Mm, my I've got the highest leads that I've got would be at 24, but on average that should be more than 10
Right.
leads.
And I want everybody to hear that 24 leads and averaging 10. And that's what I always say, and that's what Rochelle always produces. So I want everybody to know that I've had many telemarketers over the years, and Rochelle has been, and this includes American telemarketers. Rochelle she's at the top. Uh, I've had some good ones before, and they can also produce in that range. But Rochelle, there's no telemarketer I've ever had that is better than Rochelle. And I will further throw in that it is, okay, everybody thinks, well, I'm going to have a Filipino telemarketer, therefore I'm going to have lesser results. But that's just not the case, is it, Rochelle?
No, certainly not.
Yeah, and because I've never had anybody outproduce you. I've never had anybody outproduce your level of daily production and your dedication. So, you know, what is okay? I'm gonna get back to numbers. You make 400 to 600 calls per day. You average about 10 leads. You get highs up in the 20s, and
Mhm.
but now we don't have a real strict script. In other words, for those of you that are perhaps are not more familiar, on my web page, MedicareMillionaire.com, on the homepage, I have the scripts that we use. So you can go there. It's a turning 65 script and age 66 and beyond. So two scripts, and they're both detailed on MedicareMillionaire.com on the homepage. But the most important thing is that people understand the first objection is really not an objection at all. And how do you handle that first objection, Rochelle?
Okay, so I would just say, Sir Nick, like oh, I appreciate that. However, there are changes in Medicare, and we want to make sure that you're okay. So, what would be the best time for you? Is it morning or afternoon? And you know what, Sirnik? Their objection would be they would have a vacation for a month or would go to a brother's house, a sister's house. But after that rebuttal, they would say, okay, afternoon. Then now, where is the vacation? Where is the going to someone
Right.
else's house?
You know, that's funny because sometimes you have leads where I won't notice, but the day I'm supposed to arrive there, and we almost always go for next day, AM, PM, correct?
Yes, yes. Hmm.
So I'll have a lead where perhaps they said, well, I won't be there tomorrow. Have them come by next Tuesday or something, whenever. And I'll get there tomorrow because I failed to notice the date on the lead and they're home.
Yes.
So that happened. That's happened more than once. So again, an important point there is that the initial objection often is an instinctive response to a telemarketer, just as it is to a salesman the first time you go to close. If you don't do it properly, no is the answer. So you just ignore that first objective, but Rochelle, I believe that going back to the beginning, I've trained you not to really push for the appointment real hard. If they say no, second time, that's pretty much it, correct?
Yes, for me. Yes.
You know, we don't want
Because
to,
they can feel it.
go ahead.
They can feel it, Srini, like you're really pushing it. So that's the more that they would say no. But if you just go with the flow, like just do the rebuttal if they say no, and then you'll get it.
Yes, and if they don't, okay, we don't want to put their arm behind their back and to force an appointment. We want the appointment to come relatively easily. They object, we kind of acknowledge that, we appreciate that you have, they may say, well, I already have an agent, or I'm going on vacation, or whatever. We can appreciate that you already have an agent. However, we're just going to have somebody stop by to go over the benefits of the programs, make sure your money is being best spent for your Medicare benefits. Having said that, would morning or afternoon be better? So just go back to that morning or afternoon, just do it one time, and that's it. You don't have to keep pounding for the appointment. You don't want that, because then the people just aren't going to, they really don't want an appointment. And then at the same time, you do want to ignore the first objection. So, you know, we talked about this before, Rochelle, ghosting. What is ghosting?
You mean on the part of the telemarketers, or
Yes,
like
yes.
just won't show?
Yeah, they just disappear, right?
Yeah, that would certainly happen if there's no level of relationship between the telemarketer and the agent. And not just ghosting. It could happen also in the same way, like they would be absent because of a power interruption or internet connection, but then they're really going just out, with friends. So, but if you are, there's a level of relationship between the agent and the telemarketer, then you have this kind of honesty between both of
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah, I think the key word is that you actually have a business relationship, if not
Yes.
a friendship as well. So you're less likely to just ghost the person. Do you know what's interesting, Rochelle? I believe that's a term they use here in the States because people are now like doing internet dating.
Mm-hmm.
And now they just ghost people. So like you'll have somebody and you'll be developing this relationship with them, I suppose, online, and then they just disappear. No text, no emails, no nothing. They just disappear. Again, no relationship, and then the end result is that people just disappear, and it kind of makes sense. We Skype frequently. We do video Skype. We communicate, and and I believe that's a key ingredient to. I believe that's a key ingredient to our building a successful relationship. How do you think that people respond to your accent, Rochelle?
Actually, Sir Nick, like for the first time that I did this telemarketing with you, for a week, I could only have people like say something about my accent would be like, let's say, uh, the maximum would be 5 in a week. and there will be weeks that they just don't react to my accent. So that's it.
Yeah, I believe that people are willing to give anybody a chance, like on the phone. Like I'll get telemarketers call. Yeah, I'm not rude to them. I'll give them a chance to see what they're going to say. I'm typically not receptive, but I'll still let them go through their initial, hey, this is so-and-so. And a lot of times they have accents. It may be Indian. It may be, who knows where the accent is coming from. But I'll at least give them a chance to say something. I'm not interested generally. But again, now, do you have people, okay, I'm not going to be rude to them, but do you have people that are rude or mean to you?
Only like 1%, Nick. That's it. The people in the South there in your place would be really very polite. Like they would say ma'am or sweetheart.
Yes, yes. People are generally nice, and I think they want to be nice to people. But if they call, and let's say somebody has an accent that they just can't understand what they're saying, well, then people get frustrated. But if they see that somebody's calling them and is trying and has an accent, but is trying to, be effective and communicate effectively, I don't think they're going to be mean-spirited to them. You know what? I get people that are mean-spirited to me when I go to their homes. Not too often, but could be somebody had a bad day, Rochelle. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
you could be the 10th person to call them that morning. So, and they're tired of it. So you just never know. I believe also, and I'm going to go back and say that Rochelle with the accent, because I believe, and Rochelle, this is real critical. I believe, and it may be true for the Filipino telemarketers, that they think I'm not going to be as effective because I have an accent. And it may be that the agents think that, well, the telemarketer won't be as effective because they have a Filipino accent. But so in both cases, those people are going to be wrong. Do you think that some Filipino telemarketers think, like coming out of the gate, that they have a negative view on this whole thing because they have an accent?
I don't think so, Sony, because according to what I've known and some researchers researches that I've read before, like most Filipinos could really speak English well.
Well, it is your national language, correct?
Yes, and not just because it is an international language. Like here, Filipinos would really speak English because it depicts like you're smart.
I see. I
So,
see.
yeah, if you can speak well, you're smart. So.
Yes, and so the point there is that it's not shall we say, a handicap for somebody calling from the Philippines. And I want, again, American agents to understand this, that if you have a Filipino telemarketer, you're not hiring somebody that is handicapped. Rochelle she's the top telemarketer, period. American or foreign, it doesn't matter. People are going to give everybody a chance. And now, if you have somebody that just has an accent that's so strong, let's say they're from Boston, and they just have that heavy accent. Well, they're going to be less effective than somebody that has an accent such as perhaps Rochelle would have. Much less effective. So the fact that somebody has an accent, especially in America now, because you have people from all over the world living here. So let's see. How many hours a week do you work, Rochelle?
That would be 40 hours a week.
And we do that every week, no matter what, correct?
Yes.
Do you know of a lot of Filipino telemarketers that they are kind of like at the mercy of the agent? And this doesn't necessarily just have to be insurance agents. It could be anybody who hires a Filipino telemarketer from the States, where they just don't prioritize their business. Like I prioritize your business. I feel it's always important that you have hours, that you have your hours every week, no matter what. But is that normal?
Yes, Renee, I believe so. It's important also to us to maintain that certain like number of hours, because that will depict our income. Is that what you're trying to mean?
Well, what I'm asking is, and what I'm getting at is, and you've told me this before, that some, like, the agents will have the telemarketer work and then they'll just let them go, or they'll just cut their hours back and say, I don't need you as much, or just I don't need you this week.
Oh, certainly. I would just like to add on that. Perhaps not really on the maintaining the number of hours, but on cutting really the relationship with the telemarketer. Because I've had it before. Like he just want me to get with the script, and he didn't even coach me with how to really smoothly do it. And then after a week, he just said, "Okay, cut the relationship," and he
Right.
didn't even taught me anything. So it's
Right.
really
Gotcha. It's called sink or swim, you know? So, let's see. And we've celebrated 1 year working together, correct?
yes,
Just
me too.
May 2nd, and that's a big deal. And I'm very happy to have you with me, Rochelle. So it's been a fantastic year, and you've done nothing but getting better and better over the course of that period of time. And I believe that that's the secret for an agent to be successful, is they develop that continuity with a telemarketer, because you're always hiring new telemarketers. You're just going to be always retraining, and it's going to be difficult.
Yes.
And also, as our relationship has evolved, we found that you're doing other things for me now, correct, Rochelle?
Yes, you're right.
And do you want to elaborate on that at all?
Okay, so now you are actually making me do the website, designing the website, and also like something on pictures, cutting pictures like Photoshop.
Right.
And these are the skills that I never had before, and I don't zero idea. I don't have any idea about it. But you gave me time to learn these new skills, and still I get paid for it. So wow.
Yes.
It's a win for me.
Well, these are, and you have risen to the occasion, which is why you're doing more of that, because Rochelle has an affinity for technology, and you know, a lot of things that we do, like if we're doing Photoshop or something like that, she can get in there and just make things happen. And so the point is, first of all, I'll say this. Probably in the very near future, Rochelle will not be a telemarketer at all. She'll probably be managing a telemarketer or telemarketers. And how do you feel about that, Rochelle?
Wow, I'm excited.
But and that's so. Again, I think it all boils down to is the relationship. So if you don't develop and evolve the relationship, then you'll never find out what the person is capable of. We've also evolved in other areas. When you're telemarketing, Rochelle, initially I would load the list into the computer, and like you would just send me a spreadsheet with the leads. But now you're doing everything. Like, and if there's a problem with the sales dialer program, we use sales dialers. If there's a problem with that, who handles that, Rochelle?
That would be me, certainly. Like, for example, if there would be problems with the sales dialers, before I would say, Sir Nick, there's problems in sales dialers and I couldn't get this and that. But then as time goes by, I would be the one to chat on the support group, and they would respond immediately.
And how has sales dollars performed for you?
Really well, Sir Nick. It's a great help, because they would really get to on the methodologically tell me how to solve an issue, and
now,
you could also record.
But now, is sales dollars reliable for you as a system to use?
Yes.
And I guess the question there is, how often is it down where you have where you're having problems?
So Nick, I could say that most of the time that I could say it's down, it's because I haven't cleared my history.
Right. It's just been a fantastic system, and I would say over the years, they've evolved this system and it's gotten better. You know, I've used this system for at least 5 years. And I can remember 5 years ago, it wasn't nearly as reliable as it is now. And that's a big, big deal. So what I've done with Rochelle is I basically have things like loading the list. It's like I just say, you do it. I think I may have showed her one time, but I don't even know if I showed her exactly how it's done. I'm sure I did. But I also send her to videos, like how-to videos, and she'll just go to the how-to videos and figure things out. Do you remember when we made that transition and I said, well, you just look at these videos and you figure out how to do all this?
Yes, certainly. And at first, I really didn't know how to do it, but you would always say that you could do it. Even though I said, no, certainly, I have difficulty on this. And you would say, you can figure it out. Then you would give me time. And then I did.
Well, that's my favorite technique with Rochelle. Whatever I have her doing, and she is very confident. So she never says, I can't do it. She just says it's difficult or expresses some concern. But I just tell her, you'll figure it out. And I just let her go. And she always figures it out. This would be whether we're working in WordPress or we're working with the Photoshopping stuff, or I'm turning things over to her from the standpoint of managing the lists. How long would you say it takes to load a list in the sales dialers?
Less than 5 minutes, Sir Nick.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's almost like, I think I can do it in 2 minutes. Be up and running from scratch with a new list. And it's just a fantastic product. And I put emphasis on that because we have that product at a discount available on the Medicare Millionaire website. So that's a big deal for agents to have the access to that. And it is so easy for telemarketers to use that system. I mean, do you find it easy to use, Rochelle?
Yes, certainly. Yes, it is.
So, I mean, make it easy for your telemarketers. Provide a system to them that's easy to use, and give them an easy system to use, like sales dialers. Give them an easy script to use, and you as the agent do the selling. And a lot of agents what they'll do is they'll tweak the script to improve their sales. So I always say that the telemarketer just needs to get you to the door, and you can sell. But a lot of agents are going to want to say, well, you know, my sales are down, must be the script. You know, so, you know, they're trying to find fault in their own productivity or their own production because of a telemarketing script. So, Rochelle, let's see. We've covered a lot of what I wanted to cover. Do you have any thoughts that you would like to share with other telemarketers on how to be successful?
Okay. So I believe, certainly, that one good thing to be successful is to be really honest and sincere. Like, for example, when talking to the seniors, they could really feel if you're sincere or not, or honest or not. And if you are sincere and honest, they would really listen to you. Have I mentioned that there was this time wherein a certain senior was really mad at me, but then I got her appointment. So.
Right. Well, she probably was just mad. And then you were nice to her, right?
Yeah, but I responded nicely and she became calm, and then, okay, afternoon.
I would say, and I don't think that you can tell as much as, like, I can tell listening from the outside, listening in on your conversations, but you have a very pleasant, consistent cadence to your presentation on the phone. So you really, regardless of how the person acts, you seem to maintain your own cadence and your own level of, and it's very, very relaxing the way that you do it. So I would say what I learned from listening to you is that, and that perhaps other telemarketers could benefit from, is just to be smooth, just to be relaxed. And yes. I don't see you getting upset, even if people are less than pleasant with you when I'm listening to your calls.
Yes, sir. Because I would just say, Anyway, you don't know me, so I won't get offended.
Right, right, yeah. And it could be somebody, again, I think we said this before, you could be the 10th caller that day, and they're just upset. It could have been that they've just received some bad news. You never know why the person is not pleasant with you. Uh, and this brings a point that we do train. Now, we don't do it too often because you're so good at what you do, Rochelle, but we have gone over where we have a policy where Rochelle sends me 2 phone calls every day, and from time to time I will review those phone calls, especially if she asks me to, which she does, and we will go into things where maybe we've corrected maybe her pronunciation of something.
Yes, Nick, I remember.
Yeah, and that's helpful, correct?
Yes, Nick. Could I elaborate on that thing? Actually, you never really get the chance to review on my recorded calls. However, I said, "Oh, Sir Nick, I'm having difficulty in getting leads today. Perhaps you could help me. Here are my recorded calls. So can you check on it?" And you check on it, and you corrected me on some things. And the next day, I've got 21 leads.
Yes, yes, I do recall. And I would say the lessons there for the telemarketer and or the agent, maybe especially the agent, is that sometimes your telemarketer needs some help. They might be at a little stuck point, maybe just like anybody else, just like salespeople. They might not be of the highest spirit, and they might need a little like, hey, you're doing great, just stick in there and make it happen. It's all good. We've talked about this as well recently, Rochelle. I don't put a quota on you, do I?
No, Srini, you don't. There was even a time wherein I've got 2 times, and in my whole year of working with you, 2 times I've got 0 leads because we had a bad list before. But then all you did was, don't worry, you will have more next day, and wowza, you're doing great. It's okay, you can have more. And then I did.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think there's any reason to put pressure like you better get more leads. What I'm gonna do, you better get more leads or you're fired. I don't think that serves anybody. We've never had a crossword between us in the year plus that we've worked together. I don't think there's ever been a point where we've had a point of contention where we weren't pleasant with each other. So it's been nothing but a fantastic relationship. And having said that, that might be, something for other agents in their, communication with their telemarketers. Regardless of whether you're having a great day or a bad day, maybe you want to just kind of be pleasant and, instead of bossy, just be nice. This is kind of funny. Be nice to everybody.
And because you treat me well, that's why I want to do my best, because I say that Sir Nick deserves the best because of how you treat me.
Well, I appreciate you, Rochelle. You know that, and I think that we both have benefited from the relationship, and I think that we just have more to come and greater things to accomplish. In building this relationship over, I'm hoping for the next several years at least. And I would again say that your opportunity with a telemarketer that's from the Philippines, for example, is going to be you can have just as prosperous a relationship as hiring somebody and placing them in your office right down the hallway, and so they're physically present in your office. So I don't believe that would provide any advantage, certainly not in comparison to what I've experienced in working with Rochelle and other telemarketers. Most of my telemarketers have been out of my office, and that's kind of the norm. But I don't think it matters whether it's somebody that's in America or somebody that's in the Philippines. Well, listen, Rochelle, what last words do you have? Okay, we said regarding the agent, regarding the telemarketer, how about the agent? Any last words that you would say to the agent that is hiring telemarketers?
Okay. For the agent who would be hiring telemarketers, like Filipino telemarketers, always believe that you can get the best out of them. Because as what Sir Nick is treating me, like even though I have zero skills on that specific thing that he would want me to do, but I was able to do it because he would say, "Oh, you could do it. Like I know you are smart enough to do this." Is very encouraging. So just be positive and push forward.
Well, Rochelle, you're a smart young lady. You're in your master's degree program now, correct?
Yes, I'll be finishing it this June.
Yeah. So she's a sharp young lady. And anyhow, Rochelle, we're going to end it right here. I'm very happy for our first year together. I'm glad that we could do this interview, and I think it may help individuals, agents, in developing some, telemarketers, whether it's Filipino or not. And that's it, Rochelle. You want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
All right. Goodbye.